I'm learning that this city's blue economy was built on the shoulders of traditional ocean enterprises, like commercial fishing and the Navy. But why Harbor Drive? And what does the future hold for this city's blue economy?
How are you? Doctor, really nice to see you.
I'm sitting down with UCSD Dean Dr. Mary Walshok to dive a little deeper into the future potential of San Diego and how the blue economy could impact it.
What makes San Diego special?
Well, I think, look where we're sitting.
Right.
It's an embarrassment to always talk about surfing and the sun and the water, and yet it's at the core of what makes this a great city. San Diego was invented barely 125 years ago. And if we think back, everything was anchored on the East Coast. It was Europe that everyone looked at. And then in the 1890s, the Spanish-American War changed all of that. The dawn of the Pacific century.
Victory in the Spanish-American War granted the U.S. new Pacific territories, like Guam and the Philippines, and a new world was opened.
Suddenly, all of Asia became an opportunity for the United States in the way it had never been before.
In what sense?
The economic opportunity for trade, but also a security issue. And that's why the Navy and the need for a Pacific fleet suddenly arose. And then, of course, with World War I, there was an interest in investing in technology. The early leveraging of the water for naval purposes and then R&D has evolved into what we call the blue economy.
Right.
And remember, we're a big high-tech town, which means pharmaceutical companies, wireless companies.
A lot of it developments from here?
All of it from here. The blue economy looks very different in the 21st century than it did in the 20th.
The blue economy isn't limited to traditional ocean-based businesses like fishing, shipbuilding, and defense, but also encompasses future-facing sectors like desalination, biomedicine, ocean energy, and blue tech, and is estimated to contribute $1.5 trillion to the global economy each year. That number is projected to double by 2030. The real question? How much of it will San Diego see?
The sea is this extraordinary resource. If you were to say what defines San Diego,
Right.
it's the Pacific and what it means for a blue economy.
If the water hadn't been so prevalent,
Right?
it could have just been some normal
Exactly.
town.
That's why these guys who keep talking about the blue economy, I think, are onto something.
I need to meet these guys Dr. Mary says are leading San Diego's blue renaissance. First up is industry leader Greg Murphy, who I'm meeting at Shelter Island Pier for a little fishing.
Tell me a little bit about what you do.
I'm a big proponent of San Diego's blue economy, and recently I joined a company called Blue Nalu. What we're doing is we're actually taking the cells of a fish and proliferating those cells and literally turning that into a 3D printed or bioprinted fish.
All right, you're gonna have to go back on proliferated. Give it to me in layman's terms.
So instead of having to grow the whole fish, we're literally growing just the whole muscle fillets. So our fish have no tails, no scales, no bones, no heads, also no mercury, no microplastics.
What does
bones,
it taste
no
like?
So it'll be the same as. It'll have the same nutritional equivalent, same sensory characteristics.
The idea of cellular fish may seem a little far-fetched, but Blue Nalu just secured $20 million in funding, reported to be one of the largest ever in the cell-based food category.
San Diego has the largest blue tech cluster in the United States and probably top 5 in the world.
Blue tech means?
If it's wet, it's blue. If it's innovative, it's tech. That's blue tech in a nutshell.
Blue tech is a fast-growing sector in San Diego's blue economy and includes aquaculture companies like Blue Nalu.
San Diego is a hotbed of blue economy. Based on a 2007 study, had about 1,400 companies, about $14 billion of direct annual revenue, and about 46,000 people employed by the blue economy in San Diego. Uh-oh, you're hooked.
It's one of us. Okay, the big question is, whose fish is that? I caught that? Well, 1-0. All I know is that your cell-based fish not on your line yet.
It'll be on menus in the next 18 to 24 months.
And why do you believe there's a need for a product like that?
Seafood consumption today is at an all-time high. A lot of consumers are switching away from red meat towards seafood for the health benefits. So the question is, okay, where does that seafood actually come from, right?
So what will that do to the fishermen?
We're focused on species that are primarily imported, so that we're focused on species to create jobs, to create a sustainable seafood supply.
Is there a better way to describe it other than saying cell-based so that people don't get freaked out by it?
Would you eat it?
I don't know. It would be ignorant for me to say that I wasn't open to it. Am I comfortable with the idea? Am I looking forward to the idea? Not today.
How about in 18 to 24 months?
You know what the score is, right?
Hey, all right.
It's 2-0.
Oh, man.
It was interesting in talking to Greg how he was adamant about the fact that it is a fish. It'll take everybody a minute to get there, but it probably took everybody a minute to get to a plant-based burger that we now all enjoy at Burger King. Today, I understand that San Diego is at the forefront, the little quiet giant.
Just like the Santa Clara Valley came to be known as Silicon Valley, maybe one day San Diego Bay will be known as Blue Tech Bay.
I give them a lot of credit for finding new ways and understanding that technology and this blue ocean can actually solve a lot of problems, not just in San Diego, but across the country.